Good evening, everyone. How are you all? Good evening, all of you. Welcome to another episode of Booster Vocabulary with Mr. Scholastic. How are you all doing? Hello, Ananita. Hi, how are you all? कैसा चल रहा है सब कुछ? I just met a couple of you a few hours back. I know. Good evening, Shardul. Hi, Bhavyanshi, Janisha. Hi, Atishay, Ishani. How are you? Evening, Samrid. Hi, Niket. Darshna. Good evening. Hello, Satish, Trisha. Good evening. Hare Krishna, after so long. Very, very long. Although I do see you, but again. Hi, Anvesha, Anjali. How are you all? Chalo, what are we going to do? हाँ Nandita, I know the couple of doubts pending. पूरे दिन से class में थी. I will do it when I get time. Okay. Chalo, we'll start with the first things first. We will talk about 5 words, obviously, and then we will go on to discussing other things as well. Good evening, good evening. चलो पहले first word पे चलते हैं. First word के लिए you have this gift. All right, and it says this judge is advocating, saying that person is not guilty, right? So any idea what words we could use when you're saying that person is not guilty? Hi, Stuti, Mayank. Hello, Sanya. Any idea for what word could we use when the judge advocates, saying the person's not guilty? क्या word use करते हैं हम? And we have done a couple of words that have a similar meaning that we going to discuss. तो थोड़ा हमने ये पहले भी डिस्कस किया. I think किसी handout में भी आपने किया होगा. And if you're a law student, you definitely know this. क्या लगता है? What is the word? Innocent. Okay. Freeing someone of the blame. Is there a word that talks about freeing somebody of the charge or of the blame? I know, Dhruv, that's exactly what I was saying. कि अभी कुछ ही घंटे पहले I met a couple of you. Acquit, yes. बिल्कुल ठीक है. So what we're looking at is exculpate. Okay. Exculpate, which means, again, if I were to use the mnemonic, I'd say ex-culprit. So if I say that person is considered an ex-culprit, that means he's not a culprit anymore, meaning he's free of the blame. Absolve करना किसी को, exonerate करना, acquit करना, those are words that we have spoken of. Acquit, right? So that all of that is when you are basically freeing someone of the blame. Exonerate, exactly. So the judge exculpated him of the crime. That means the judge freed him of the blame that he did any crime of any sort. So exculpate is to say that person's free of charge and that person is not guilty. Hi, Ayushi. So it's a verb because it's to free someone of the blame, to absolve, to exonerate. The judge did this action of freeing that person of the blame, etc. So that is the reason why exculpate is a verb. That's our first word, exculpate. Right? Let's go to the next word now. For the next word, what do we have? We have this person here. Clearly my favorite. I think हम जब कल marvel कर रहे थे, why did I not mention him and include him as one mystery I couldn't even solve either. But this man, he's like the perfect example of masculinity, right? What words can be used for him? They didn't exculpate Depp from the charges. Yes, did not exculpate. Acquit, yes, acquit. Acquittal is noun. To acquit is a verb. Good evening, Neil. Right, what words can we use for this person? For Thor or for Chris Hemsworth? What words do you think can we use? Can we say he's strong? He's very strong, right? Has a lot of power. Siddharth, hi. Vim hai, he's hot, okay. Husky hai, all right. He has a lot of muscles, so burly and all of that. Absolutely. Robust hai, correct. Right, so then in that sense, what you can see is Thor can be used, the word that we can use for Thor is virile. Okay, virile then would mean, जब हम बोलते हैं ना वीर सोल्जर्स को हम वीर बोलते हैं कई बारी, राइट? वीर का मतलब क्या होता है? Somebody who is, again, वीर जी, somebody who's a brother, but veer in the sense that, you know, full of strength, a lot of power, a lot of bravery. So wahi cheez hai, virile is basically that, right? So you told me words like somebody who's very, very powerful, courageous, robust, strong. Okay, one of you said he's legit hot. So yeah, virile also has that one thing where if a person or a man especially is sexually very, very attractive, we call that person virile. So it's not just about strength per se, it's also about sexual appeal. Okay, so if a man has a lot of sexual appeal, also virile, full of strength, power, masculinity, intrepid matlab bravery, ye sare bravery ke liye synonyms hai. So that is that, right? So he's a powerful, virile man. That means he's a man who is extremely courageous, robust, strong, brave, sexually hot, all of that. It's an adjective because you're describing the man here, we were describing Thor there, right? So either ways, virile is that. Up to the third word pe. For the third word, look at that GIF. I was telling one of my groups today, one of the batches today, how I love watching animals fall and people fall in the morning. So my reels are full of animals, people, panda, all of those people falling. This panda here, when he's sitting on that branch, right, with that heavy weight of his, wasn't it obvious he's going to fall? Like, that's so obvious. And anyway, I don't know how pandas haven't endangered themselves just yet. जिस हिसाब से वो गिरते हैं और जो हरकतें इनकी होती हैं, अभी तक एक्सटिंक्ट कैसे नहीं हुए या endangered list of animals में कैसे नहीं आए? But yeah, so this situation that this panda put himself in, we can call that situation was a precarious one. Okay, a precarious situation. Panda is your spirit animal. Yeah, I mean, I'd love to see people fall like that. So precarious के लिए हम कैसे याद रख सकते हैं? Something that's done without care becomes precarious. Something that's done without care is something that will not stay stable, will not be secure enough, will be endangered, or will be able to be collapsed easily, right? So uncertain हो जाता है situation. Precarious is that, right? So he was sitting on a very precarious situation, or pandas in general put themselves into a lot of precarious situations, right? So that is that. Not securely held in position, dangerously likely to fall or collapse, insecure, unsteady, uncertain. So idiom इसके लिए हम कह सकते हैं built on sand. We can say that, you know, how pandas generally are built on sand. That means they are so uncertain, insecure. Similarly, if I say your career is precarious, I would like to say your career is built on sand. मैं गिरा थोड़ी रही हूँ, खुद अपने आप को गिरा रहे हैं. I'm just enjoying the show, nothing else. I'm not saying anything. So he made a precarious living as a painter. That means he's saying that his living, his career was not the most secure one. It was a very uncertain one. So there were days when he'd have money, and then there would be other days when he'd have no money. So precarious then becomes unsteady, insecure, and uncertain. Adjective hai because you're describing the living here. I'm saying how is the living? The living is precarious, so this becomes an adjective, right? So that is that. Adjective. Okay. After precarious, let's go to the third word. Third word is, okay, you'll have to see this space. पहले तो बताओ ये है क्या? Where do you recognize this place from? I'm sure everybody would be able to guess this. I, however, on the other hand, wouldn't have been able to guess it. I just recently watched the entire series. I think last lockdown में मैंने ये series पूरी देखी है. But what is this place? तरस खाओ. खुद ही गिरा रहा है, मैंने तो कुछ नहीं कहा. Precarious living means living in the sense of money, earnings. Precarious है मतलब uncertain है, कभी पैसा है, कभी नहीं है. So living here means a career. So Harry Potter, yeah, Harry Potter's dining hall. I think it's called the Great Hall. Yeah, it's called the Great Hall. The reason why it's called great, of course, is one, because it's great. The other is because of its space, right? It's a grand hall. It's a huge hall. What do we mean by that? That means space-wise, it is quite big, roomy, correct? So then we can use a word for this. The Great Hall is basically capacious. Capacious meaning very, very spacious, has a lot of room, so there's a lot of space. You can also use the word commodious, roomy. Idiom iske liye hum use kar sakte hain when there's a lot of elbow room. If there's a lot of elbow room, that means you have a lot of space to move around and do things freely. If you don't have enough elbow room, that means things are really, brought together and you don't have space to move. So that is that. The Great Hall is great because of it being capacious, it being spacious, roomy, commodious. There's a lot of elbow room in the Great Hall. She looked for the phone in her capacious bag. That means she looked for the phone in her really big, spacious bag. It's an adjective because we're describing the bag and saying how is the bag. The bag is capacious, spacious, roomy, a lot of space. Okay, last word. Now, this is a song that I would like you to listen to. And इसमें हम लोग basically एक building की बात कर रहे हैं. And I would like you to tell me how is the building, okay? Here you go. ऊंची है बिल्डिंग, अरे लिफ्ट तेरी बंद है, कैसे मैं आऊं, दिल रज़ामंद है. Okay, थोड़ा टकरा है ये video, but how is the building? You've heard of this song, I'm sure. 2 बार आया है ये गाना भी. How is the building? And what words in English can you use for that? Uchi, okay. So what words can we use? If it's Uchi, the building is Uchi. So we would say that the words that we can use is tall. Tall के लिए हम एक word use कर सकते हैं. It's called lofty. Okay. Lofty को याद रखने के लिए mnemonic aid will be lift. You generally need a lift for a lofty building. You do not, you can't have a building that's lofty and there's no lift like that. That's obviously humanly a little impossible now for our generation especially. So tall is lofty. Lift से याद रख सकते हैं. Tall, giant. You can use words like towering, soaring, high rise, skyscrapers. Yes. So that is that's lofty. So the city is full of lofty buildings. That means the city is full of really tall, giant, towering, extremely high-rise buildings. It's an adjective because you're describing the building. So Uchi is the word that we can refer to for this. Okay. All right. So those were the 5 words for the day. And I'm going to now take you to the Mentee part for today's session. Acha, Mentee आज का थोड़ा सा, I wouldn't say tricky है, but you'd have to be very careful when you are doing that. So वो एक चीज है जो आपको ध्यान रखनी पड़ेगी. I am sharing the screen. There you go. That's your code for the day. 46462433. That's your code. 46462433. आ जाओ, ज्वाइन कर लो जल्दी जल्दी से सब लोग. And so what is going to happen in today's, can we use it without building? Well, I mean, you'll have to describe what is lofty, right? So उस केस में बताना पड़ेगा whether it's the building or it's the bridge or let's say it's a pedestal or whatever, what is tall here. So, and it's generally not about a person. It's not like when you're describing a person, you can't say lofty. Like if a tall person comes in, you can't say that is a lofty person. Lofty generally used for non-living things only. Okay. Right, what's the Mentee going to be about? The Mentee is going to be majorly about grammar. Again, some colloquial errors that we may tend to make. तो कुछ चीजें हमने पहले डिस्कस करी हुई हैं, तो आपको वो आसान होगा याद करने में. बाकी चीजों के लिए थोड़ा सा आपको स्पेशली ध्यान देना पड़ेगा, बट I think it's doable. It's not very difficult, so we can manage this, I believe. Okay, right. So I want you to look at your screens for the first question. Here you go. First question, all of you. She is Anne Dash of my college. We have done this earlier. I remember doing this with you. So, wow, 23 of you answered this incorrectly. When you say alumni, it's plural. Alumni is supposed to be plural. Alumni is supposed to be plural either for all male population or a mixed gendered population. Okay, so if let's say there are 3 girls and 4 boys passing from a specific college, passing out from a specific college, then they are alumni. But that's because you have more than one person, so plural bhi hai. Plus it's a mixed gender here. There are 3 girls and 4 boys. If just 4 boys exist, we'd still be able to say alumni, because alumni as a word will either refer to male people or mixed gender. But it's always supposed to be plural. Alumnus is singular for male population. So if it's just, one man passing out from a college, we will say that person is an alumnus. If it's one person, one woman passing out of a college, that is alumna. So if I say I am an alumna of XYZ college, that means I am an alumna kyunki singular female. If it's a plural female, however, we say alumni. So if 5 girls are passing out of a college, then they are alumni of a college. Okay, so remember always, this is the kind of demarcation that we haven't probably been taught earlier, but alumni is male or mixed gender plural. Singular male is alumnus, singular female is alumna, and plural female is alumni. All right. So that was the first word. See, this one was, I believe, one of the trickier ones in the whole Mentee. Ye tricky question tha, but I think I've already discussed this with you sometime earlier. Chalo, next question pe jate hain. But before that, let's look at the leaderboard and see leaderboard pe who has answered correctly and the fastest. Udita has answered correctly and the fastest. Following which Yash, Bill, Janisha, Arohi, Aishmi, Bhavya, Banana, Ujjwal and Chocolate. Next question. Question number 2. They are all my dash. Okay. So offspring means बच्चे, children. या फिर आप ही के बच्चे, मतलब your own younger ones. किसी और के नहीं, आपके खुद के. Offspring as a word will never be plural. So there is no word as offsprings. ऐसा कोई word ही exist नहीं करता. It's always just offspring, whether it's one or plenty. Offspring will always just be offspring. So it's the younger one, younger kid of any animal, any plant, any human. Alright, so they are all my offspring. That means वो सब मेरे बच्चे हैं. So उस sense में हम इस word को देख रहे हैं, and it's never plural. Remember that. So it's offspring only, not offsprings ever. Let's look at the leaderboard. 17 of you have incorrectly answered. 28 of you have correctly answered. Wonderful. So now we have, okay, on top you still have Udita, I believe. She's also the fastest. Then you have Arohi, Aniket, Chocolate, Banana, Bhavya, Yash, Hannah, Stuti, Aishma. Okay, next question, question number 3. He should be taught some dash by his parents. So again, I believe I've done this with you earlier as well. Etiquettes जैसा कोई word exist ही नहीं करता. It's never plural. Etiquette is etiquette. It's never etiquettes. So 18 of you have incorrectly answered. Irrespective of आप क्या सिखा रहे हो, कितना, कितनी देर तक, कितनी बार सिखा रहे हो, it will always just be etiquette. Manners या फिर etiquettes. ठीक है, never etiquettes, वो गलत है, s नहीं लगता कभी भी, etiquette या फिर manners. Alright. Now let's look at the leaderboard and see कितने लोगों ने इसमें correctly answer किया है. So a lot of you might have known this earlier क्योंकि हम discuss कर चुके थे कभी तो, but Banana has answered this. Yash is the fastest, also on top. Banana second. Hannah, Aishmi, hi, Udita, Lol, Janisha, Aruhi, and Bill. Fourth question. She is being talked about for her beauty, cleverness, and dash. Okay, 14 of you have incorrectly answered, 35 correctly answered. Very good. So you have to remember something. This is a question of parallelism, right? If she's being talked about for her beauty, beauty is a noun. Cleverness also a noun, which means what I need here, the third thing that I would need here should also be a noun. अब यहाँ पे how well mannered she is, basically well mannered तो adjective हो गया, so I don't need that. I need a noun. So manners becomes correct. So she's being talked about for her beauty, her cleverness, and manners. There could have been another way of writing this. When it have said she's being talked about for how beautiful, clever, and well-mannered she is. ये भी एक तरीका था, right? Either you could have used all nouns, so beauty, cleverness, and manners, or you could have used all adjectives, beautiful, clever, and well-mannered. So you have to make sure whenever you're writing a sentence and you have more than one component in a sentence or a list of things, make sure that that list is in the same part of speech as you've used. So सारे एक ही part of speech में होने चाहिए. That's the rule. Okay, so that is question number 4. 35 of you have correctly answered. Let's look at who has manifold is also an adjective. Yes. So now in terms of the board, Banana, Hannah, Yash, Hi, Ashmin, Aruhi is the fastest, Sambhagwan, Aniket, Dylan, Lol. Last question for the day. Thank you, Smarty Anku. Fifth question. He doesn't have dash money. Doesn't have many money, much money. Okay. Okay. So many is obviously wrong. He doesn't have much money. right? Many सिर्फ हम countable चीजों के साथ use करते हैं, right? When you have many students, many paper, many apples, whatever, all of that. So we use many with countable, and you use much with uncountable. Now, as a word, many, I'm sorry, as a word, money is uncountable. Money as a word is uncountable क्योंकि हम money नहीं use कर सकते, हम उसको plural भी नहीं बना सकते. ये दोनों चीजें एग्जिस्ट नहीं करती. मतलब ये हो गया हमारा uncountable noun. It's an uncountable noun. You use much with uncountable. You can't use many, which is the reason why much becomes correct. Why am I grinning every time? Because banana, मुझे वो minion याद आ रहा है बार बार, and I don't want. I'm stopping myself from saying it in the minion tone that he says it in. Yes, I taught this in class. Exactly. चलो, leaderboard पे चलते हैं. That was the last question. So टॉप पे है अभी भी बनाना, अभी यस. Then you have Hannah, hi Aishmin, Arohi, Aniket, Lal, chocolate ice cream, Bill and Hibba. I never thought I would say this, but banana won. Congratulations. And I hope you enjoyed today's session. It was a short and nice one, I believe. कुछ भी ज़्यादा difficult नहीं था, तो आप लोगों को थोड़ा easy लगा होगा. Principal, PAL means main, Janisha. Principal, PLE means values. Okay, so I would like to stand by my principles. That means I would like to stand by my morals and values. If I say my principal goal in life is to become an actor, principal goal then would become the main goal in life, right? So that's the reason why, that's the difference. Principal, PL means main, PLE is values and rules and morals, etc. Okay, Anvisha was banana. Congratulations, Anvisha. Gana. Aaj na paega. Milo sleeping. Milo has been sleeping ever since the class started. My class started at 6 and he's been sleeping since then. Beach mein ek bari walk karke aaya and then he slept again. Okay. Anyway, take care of yourselves. Be good. Stay safe. We'll see you very soon. Bye bye. Have a very good night.